Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Classroom Champions Live, where we bring our amazing classroom champions, athlete mentors, right into your home. Today is Feel Good Friday, and we are so happy to have all of you guys back with us today. Today, we have some incredible guests. You guys, we have one of our incredible supporters of Classroom Champions, the educator, the director of culture and strategic leadership at TEPSA. We have Todd Nesloney with us. Good morning, Todd. Welcome. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me back. I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. Thank you, Todd. So, you guys, Todd is an educator. He's an author. He's a speaker. He's a White House champion of change. And we love having him with us on Feel Good Fridays. Thank you, Todd. And we also have Haleigh Washington with us, you guys, today. Haleigh is one of our incredible athletes. She is a middle blocker for the USA women's national volleyball team, and she's also a pro athlete overseas in Italy. So, Haleigh, welcome, you guys. We're so happy to have both of you.
Hey, thanks for having me. So excited to be here.
Awesome. Well, Haleigh, we have some really cool video of you, and I want to talk a little bit more about your sport. So, you guys, Haleigh, let's watch the video to start with, and I'll tell you a little bit more about Haleigh.
Be really scrappy and push and work hard in rallies.
Washington with their clever play. Well, Washington has been sensational so far.
I think we just got back to doing what we did best, and that was passing really well and trying to run our offense, and I think we did a good job of that.
Now caught into action on the spike, but what a block by Washington.
I think we're supposed to battle in this tournament. We're playing a really good team, so I'm looking forward to it. It was overall a really good team win, and I am tired because we worked hard.
That looks awesome, Haleigh. Oh my gosh, I hear you. I'm tired just watching you out there.
Right?
Oh,
It's a lot. It's a lot.
So, Haleigh, tell us a little bit more about your career. So you started volleyball way back when. You were an All-American at Penn State. Talk to us a little bit about how you got into volleyball and what that progression was like for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So the original reason I started playing volleyball was because I really wanted to play football. I know it sounds ridiculous, but when I was 12, I wanted to play football because I wanted to play with the guys. And at 12 years old, I was already 6'3", and I was like a stick. And so my dad had mentioned that there was no way I was going to survive on a football field, so I wasn't allowed to play football. So I ended up going to a volleyball tryout instead, and I fell in love with the sport from like day one. So I started playing volleyball right then and there. And then as my career kind of progressed, I played more competitive club volleyball. I had the blessing and the opportunity to go to Penn State on a full ride scholarship, which was amazing. Went to Penn State for 4 years, was an All-American there, an academic All-American there. And then I really thought I was going to be done after college, but then I was given the opportunity to go and pursue a professional career in Italy. And then I've been there ever since. I've been playing for about 3 seasons now. Yeah, this up-and-coming season will be my 3rd season, and it's been great. It's been an awesome career. I've also had the opportunity to play in the USA gym, which was another crazy turn of events, but I'm so blessed for the places that volleyball has taken me. And yeah, I'm great. Thanks for asking.
Awesome. Very good. Well, Todd, thank you for being here also. I'm going to let you take it away at some point here, but first I want to say hello to a couple of people. So let's see. We have Lori here this morning. Happy Friday to you. Also, Lori, Heather, good morning. And Charlotte. Charlotte's here as well. So everybody who's at home watching, please feel free to put your questions, comments, anything right in the comment box, and we'll be sure to get to them as soon as possible. But to kick off the day, what do we want to do, Todd? Do we want to play a game to start?
I think we should totally play a game of categories because, Emily, you and I have played before with another athlete, and I think you and I need to kind of redo what we did before because we were not as good as we could have been. So I'm hoping today Haleigh is way better than I was last time we played.
All right, well, let's kick it off. Everybody at home, if you've watched before, you know the drill. So I'm going to give you a subject and a letter, and you need to put in the comment box, just like this, Charlotte, you know the drill, what the word is that goes with those two things. So our subject, since we are, in the world of athletes often, is going to be sports. Okay, so you have to come up with a sport that starts with the letter that I give you. And since we have Haleigh Washington on today, let us start with the letter H. So can anyone think of a sport that starts with the letter H? Todd, we'll start with you.
So I know we're going to give them a couple seconds to think, and I will say, at least with this letter today, Emily, I do have one sport that comes to mind that I think is probably the one that most people are going to mention. Just a sport that has people like Wayne Gretzky who's played, and many others, and so that's one that I can think of. And so while we're waiting for some comments to come in, I think my first, obviously, I'll go ahead and say it, is and Heather Williams just said it. Hockey. Yes, that's fine. Y'all have another H?
Good job, Heather. All right, what is another H? What's another? Does anyone remember? So on Tuesdays, we have Tiffany Parker on. Tiffany is one of our Team USA bobsledders, but she started in a different sport. Oh, Charlotte's got handball.
Yep.
Nice. I don't know if anyone remembers Tiffany's sport before volleyball. Or sorry, Haleigh, you're the volleyball player, before bobsled. But if anyone remembers that, that's an H as well. I'll throw it out to anyone if we don't get it in the next few minutes here. Haleigh, what do you have for H?
I've been racking my brains since Todd stole my answer. Gosh, so I had to think on my toes. And I actually used my little sister as inspiration because she was a track stud and she was really good at this event. So the sport that I'm going to go with, shout out to my little sister, Haleigh Washington, is hurdles. Boom.
Hurdles, good one.
That is a good one.
Haleigh got the one, or Lori got the one I was thinking of, heptathlon, and Catherine got high jump. Nice. Good job, you guys. All right, so now that we got y'all warmed up, let's go with W for Haleigh Washington, who has a W. Well, W is a tricky one.
I was going to say W I'm going to have a little bit more trouble with because, I feel like when we do these, Emily, we always pick one letter that we're all like, I got to really think about what sport here. So, here's my thought, though, Emily. If Haleigh and I guessed the H's and somebody stole your H, I think you should be the first one to guess with a W.
Okay, sounds good. I'm going to hop in before everyone gets there. I'm going to say wrestling.
Oh, good one.
And Lori got water polo. Nice. Lori. Does anyone else have a W? Any other W's? W is a tricky one.
Is whitewater rafting a sport?
Yes.
Yes.
You know what? Whitewater canoe kayak is also a sport, and we have an athlete who does that, who's on Thursdays with us as well. So another Haleigh, actually. All right, water aerobics. Martina, thank you.
Haleigh,
Water
you got a W
aerobics.
anywhere?
I was thinking like winter skiing, but that doesn't make any sense. So I panicked. I couldn't come up with anything.
I think winter skiing counts. I think that should count.
We're taking it. We're taking it.
I think it's good too. All right, you guys, should we do one more or should I let you take it away?
That's up to you, Emily.
All right, I'm gonna let you take it away.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Charlotte got wave surfing. That is a good one, Charlotte. Awesome. Water skiing, wakeboard. We have coming in from Chrissy and Erica, who are here every day. You guys, Chrissy and Erica are here every day, making sure that we, get it together and have an awesome show. So thanks, Chrissy and Erica.
Yes.
All right, Todd, I'm gonna let you take it away.
Okay,
have a fun
thanks,
time,
Emily.
guys.
Thanks so much. Well, Haleigh, I am so excited to get to chat with you today. I have been following you, and I love your sport. Volleyball is one of my favorites, so I can't wait to ask some questions. My first thing, obviously, is you're home like the rest of us. So what are you doing to stay active while you're at home?
Yeah, honestly, that's a great question. So yes, I'm home like everybody else. I came back from Italy. Season got cut a little bit short, and we have been doing what we call remote training with the USA Gym. So we do Zoom calls, kind of like this, where we just tune into each other, and there's about 6 to 7 girls on a Zoom call each, and we do these workouts that our strength and conditioning coach put together for us. And some of us have access to equipment, and others don't. So some of us are doing actual lifting, like I have a bar that I can use. So I've been doing squats and like overhead stuff, and I've been able to lift with weights. And sometimes we just do body weight exercises. So it's a lot of push-ups or burpees. Oh, I hate burpees. I can't even begin to explain to you how much I hate burpees, but it's part of one of our workouts. So we've been doing lots of just kind of at-home workouts, remote training. And then I also have 2 younger siblings, whom I love, and they help me get volleyball touches. So we'll pepper in the backyard, we'll hit the ball at each other, we'll set back and forth, and it's just fun ways to kind of stay active and keep the touch going with volleyball.
Well, I love that you are working out with some of your team virtually and some of your friends. I love you have your sisters too to have you kind of provide that motivation. But, I got to ask, some of us love to be active, but sometimes we struggle with that motivation. So how do you stay motivated to actually get up and be active?
Well, I totally relate to that. This past week, actually, I was really struggling with motivation. Like, I did not want to get up and get out of bed. And for me, sports are my job. So I have to kind of get up, I have to be active, and I have to be moving. So that is a big motivator is, hey, man, this is my lifestyle. I need to get up and do it. So that's kind of what I use. But on the flip side of that, there's also, I understand how great working out makes me feel and how awesome I feel after it. So I also use that kind of, if I do this, I know it's going to stink while I'm doing it, but it's going to feel so good when I'm done. I also use that as a motivation. And even if it's just pushing through a 10-minute yoga flow, like I don't always have to be giving 110% every day because maybe I don't always have 110%. But if I have 30% motivation, I'm going to give 100% of that 30% motivation. It's a little bit cliche, but gets me up, gets me moving.
No, I love that. And those are things that even I, listening to you today, I'm going to take as advice because I think it's great words of wisdom, not only for any adults who may be listening, but also for our kids, and just finding what motivates you and knowing that some days your motivation or what your energy level may be different than other days, but just doing the best you can and pushing through. So I think that's beautiful advice. So thank you, Haleigh. Well, Haleigh, on Tuesday, Classroom Champions, we talked with Mineo Mitchell, and they made energy bites. And so what cool snack did you like as a kid?
I love that. So as a kid, first of all, energy bites, that is so fun. Like, I'm so jealous that I missed that day. But for me as a kid, I'm a big fruit junkie. So I loved having berries in the house. I loved having like raspberries and blueberries. We used to go to this water park in my down in Denver where I live. And it was called Water World, and we would always have fresh strawberries and cherries. Oh, it was the best. So I was a big fruit junkie as a kid. It was one of my favorite snacks. And to this day, I still love a good apple. So.
Well, I love strawberries. It's definitely one of my favorites as well. And so, thinking about now, I mean, I'm sure at home you've got lots of opportunities for snacking. And so what's a favorite type of food that you like right now?
Right now, okay, it's not really a snack food. It's more of like a meal food, but I have fallen in love with tofu. And I know that sounds ridiculous and kind of gross, and a lot of people are going to be like, blah, tofu. But it is so good, Todd. I've been like pan searing it, so I cut it up into these little squares. I just throw it in the pan. It gets a little crispy on the outside. It's so good. And then just throw a little bit of soy sauce and garlic pep. I'm a chef. Todd,
so, I can't even imagine. So when was the first time you had tofu? And the first time you had it, did you actually like it, or was it kind of an acquired taste?
It's definitely an acquired taste, and you kind of got to figure out how to cook it. Like, for the longest time, I was cooking it wrong, so it'd always just be like kind of mushy and gush. But I'd mix it in with like my eggs, so it was like kind of like just scrambled eggs. Yeah. But I actually, guilty confession, I watched something on TikTok. And that was where I learned to properly cook tofu, was from TikTok. I know, it's ridiculous.
No,
we figured it out.
It's totally the world we live in now. So I love that and that's another great example of even you're still learning stuff, even in the midst of all this craziness. And so now that you're home a lot more, do you find yourself cooking more?
Actually, so I live overseas a lot, and I cook a lot when I'm overseas because I don't love going out to eat. I mean, maybe if I'm really tired, like I'll go out to like this vegan restaurant that we had or something like that. But I cook a lot when I'm at home, and I love cooking. Hate baking. Not a good baker. Can't make cake to save my life, but I love cooking. I love making fresh salmon, or I have this like asparagus cheese stuffed chicken that I make. It's so good. Ooh. So being home is great because now I get to cook for a lot of people too. Like I get my mom, my dad, and my brother and sister, and so it's cool. It's not just cooking for one. It's like cooking for multiple. So it's a new challenge.
I love that so much. I love to cook too, but I'm not a baker. I wish I was. I love watching baking shows. Like, I can do that all day long. Like, Nailed It on Netflix. I mean, I could watch those because that makes me feel a little better about me not having this skill set.
Okay, guilty pleasure, another one, The Great British Baking Show. I love that.
Heard.
Yes, it is so good. You have to check it out. I can't make it all, so it makes me feel bad, but they're amazing. It's so cool.
I'll add it to my list. Well, Haleigh, on Wisdom Wednesday, we talked with Ashley Montgomery, and she showed us some awesome meditation. And so, you mentioned when you were a kid wanting to play football, and then your dad making it clear that, that's not going to be the sport for you. And so what were some of your goals when you were a kid?
Yeah. Actually, at a really young age, right around 12 years old, one of my biggest goals was knowing that I wanted to get a full ride scholarship to go play volleyball. So I knew from a young age that if I was going to go to college, I would probably need to have a scholarship to pay for it. So I made this long list of everything that I was really good at. Okay, good at. I was 12, decent at. So it was volleyball, it was basketball, I was running track, playing the trombone. Yes, I played the trombone, long arms, you know what I mean? It was academics, it was science, it was all these things that I loved and was kind of passionate about at the time. And I decided that volleyball was the thing that I most wanted to dedicate my time to. And that was what I wanted to go to school for a full ride scholarship for. So I started working really hard. I started playing as much as I could in high school or in middle school. I started playing club volleyball. I went to camps. I really fell in love and threw myself into the sport so I could get better and eventually get a full ride scholarship. So that was one of my very early on goals, was I knew I was going to go to school for something, and it just became volleyball, and I really started to push for that.
I love that. And that's such a great goal to have as well. Well, speaking of Ashley and speaking of meditation and things like that and being able to just calm yourself and control your emotions, obviously you play in a high energy sport. You play where there's lots of opportunities to miss a shot, to miss a block. And so I'm sure that you have times when you get frustrated. And so, or when your emotions are tempted to come out, and you're in a sport too where everybody's around you watching in that moment. And so how do you handle when that frustration starts to bubbles up?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a really great question. So volleyball is a big game of momentum, and it changes very quickly. So at one point, one team can be doing really, really, really well, and then all of a sudden one error will flip the momentum, and the other team will be doing really, really well. So it's very back and forth, and it's very easy to get lost in that momentum flow. And so I think one thing that I really like to do is I have a goldfish memory. It's something that we call on our national team the goldfish memory, where whatever happened, we let it go immediately. So 3 seconds pass, 1, 2, 3, it's in the past. I'm not worried about it. Whether or not it was an error or whether or not it was a huge stuff block, it's in the past now, and it doesn't matter anymore. What matters is this next point. So when I'm frustrated, I try to focus just on this moment and being in the right now. I also love the deep breath. We had a really great mental health coach that really was focused a lot on rooting ourselves in the moment with a breath. So before every play, before my serve, before lots of heated moments, I take a moment, one good breath, kind of settle everything down, and then I go back to being goofy and loosen up. And I'm best when I'm goofy, so if I can stay goofy on the court, that also helps a lot too.
I love that. And I think that idea of the deep breath and the controlling your emotions, right? That is so important. And that's not something that I learned until later in life. And I really wish I would have learned that as a kid, the importance of just taking those deep breaths and controlling that. It can make a world of difference. So I love that you shared that, Haleigh. Well, on Thursday, we had Creative Kids Thursday, and Lucy Yang taught us how to draw a hot air balloon. We did a game of a mystery word. And so did you like art growing up? Were you one of those kids that was totally into that?
Yes, I loved art. Confession, though, I am not an artist. I am very bad at drawing, but I loved art. Because it was just a fun way to get color onto page. I loved mixing all these different colors. I remember one time when we were a kid, we did this art project where we spelled our name in cursive, and then we would scribble a color along the cursive line, and then we would scribble a color on that outline, and then gradually it got bigger and bigger and bigger until you had this colored collage in the outline of your name. And it was so cool, and I hung it in my room for years. It was a first grade project, and I had it till 4th grade. But I just loved the color pop and the color flare. And I wish I was a better artist. I really wish I was.
That sounds like so much fun, though. I want to go and pick that up and do that now. Well, when there are moments when you're stressed or feeling overwhelmed, do you have a creative outlet that you like to dive into?
Absolutely. I'm actually a really big journaler. Actually, this right here, this is my journal. And I love to write. And I think it's honestly a really great way for me to silence everything that's going on in my brain. I don't know if you've noticed this. I'm a pretty passionate and loud and energetic person, and so it gets a little crazy up here. So being able to kind of jot all those thoughts down and slow down and write it out. I like to write poetry. I like to goof off and rap. with my friends, like just as a fun creative outlet. Like I really like writing. I think it's a really great way for me to get all my thoughts, good, bad, and ugly, out of my head.
You know, and it's such a great reflection time too, and it's something good to go back to later and kind of see like what I was feeling a year ago or 2 years ago. So I think what you shared there is beautiful advice. And so, you know, then today is Feel Good Friday. So I just have a couple more questions for you. And so obviously, like I said earlier, your sport is high intensity, lots of crowd. And I know that when you're in that environment and that crowd is pumping, like that gives you a lot of energy too. But that's got to be a little nerve-wracking to kind of go out there and know that everybody's watching you, which means if I miss something, everybody sees me miss it. So do you get nervous ever before or during any games?
Yeah, absolutely. I get nervous before every match. And actually, it's in the exact same moment before every match. So in volleyball, we have these things called rotations. And that's like where you are on the court at any given time. And there's a very specific rotation where I'm standing in the front row. And in this moment, in this rotation at the start of every match, I will feel butterflies. And I'm in my ready stance, and I'm looking at the server on the other side of the net. And they're tossing the ball. And in that moment, my stomach is dropping. And I'm like, oh my gosh, she's about to serve. What if I miss? What if I accidentally? And there's all these millions of what ifs between the moment when this girl is tossing the ball and between when she contacts. But then as soon as she contacts, everything just washes away. And I just do what I do, good or bad.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I just have to go out there and do my best. So she serves. Those thoughts, they whoosh away. And I just start playing. And if it's a rough start and I'm a little slow, I let it go, 3-second memory, and I move on. And if it's really great, I'm loud and I'm jumping. I'm like, yeah, let's go. And 3-second memory is gone and I move on.
Well, Haleigh, what I've loved about just talking to you today is you're clearly filled with so much positivity and so much energy and life. And I love that. And I'm sure your teammates just love spending time with you. But my question, though, is, you know, there's going to be games that you lose. And so, and where you either really wanted it or you thought y'all deserved it, and those emotions can just eat at you. And, you know, as whether it's kids who are watching today or adults who may be joining in, we all are going to experience those times when it doesn't turn out the way we thought it was going to turn out. So how do you not let those emotions like make you feel like you're not very good anymore, or just be so upset you can't even do anything? Like, how do you control your emotions when you don't get the intended result?
Yeah, Todd, that's a great question. And first of all, I'm going to be 100, be honest. I'm not perfect. And there are days where I've had lots of, like, I've lost as much as I have won, probably more than I have won. I lose all the time. And there are those losses that really sit with me. There was a loss my senior year. We were in the Final Four. We were playing against a really great opponent. And we had the win. Like, we were 1-2 points away from the win. And I had just come off the bench, or I had just gotten back on the bench. And I was like, okay, guys, let's push through right here. We got this. We can win. And due to a turn of events, we ended up losing. And that loss still sits with me. Some 3-4 years later, it still sits. And I'm not perfect. Some days it really eats away at me. And I'm hurt. It hurts. Those losses, those failures, those shortcomings, they sit and they hurt. But the best thing that I take away from those things is, how can I get better today? And what can I do to prevent that from happening again? There's nothing I can do about it in the past. And yes, it hurts. And it's okay. It's okay for it to hurt a little bit and for you to be upset and sad. That's normal. It's okay to have bad days. And so I sit with that and I give myself permission to feel that. But then at the end of the day, I'm thinking of, how can I get better? How can I improve? And how can I prevent that from happening again? So at the end of the day, I want to win, and I'm hungry to get better, and I'm hungry to learn volleyball. So what can I learn from the negatives and the losses in my past?
Well, you know, what I heard you say there that really resonated with me is you allow yourself to feel the emotion afterwards. You don't try to bury it or hide from it, but you use that moving forward to say, how can I be better? What can I do? And I think that's what we can all do, whether we're kids or adult, is we know we're going to face those moments where we don't succeed in the way we're hoping to. And it's okay to be upset, but use that to be better and to kind of get your mind wrapped around how you can do better moving forward. So great advice, Haleigh. Well, the last question I have for you is, you know, I'm sure you got to be looking forward to something coming up. So what's something big that you're looking forward to?
So there are two big things that I'm looking forward to. One, I'm really looking forward to this next professional season. I'm going over to this team called Novara in Italy, And my old college setter actually plays there. So my first year at Penn State, the setter was Micah Hancock. And then she graduated, so I never got to play with her. I only played with her 1 year. But she is at Novara, so I now get to play with my old college setter again, which is so exciting. I can't wait to play with her. And the Olympics also got pushed back to 2021, so I'm really looking forward to doing everything I can to prepare USA volleyball as best I can to go out there and win a gold medal and kick some booty. I can't wait for that.
I love that. And those are both beautiful things to be looking for. I love that you've got just that really personal one of getting to spend time with somebody you've worked with before, and that huge, exciting, Olympics coming up next summer. So, Haleigh, thank you so much today. Emily, I think you've got something for us to wrap up.
I sure do. Thanks, you guys. That was so much fun. Haleigh, I'm going to take some of those tips home with me as well. That 3-second memory thing, the goldfish memory, I love that. I know as an athlete for myself, that was something that I had to do as well, was just set a time period to manage those emotions of either a big win or a big loss, because there's always that next thing to look forward to. So I love that. There's some good things to look forward to for sure. So before we go, you guys, I want to make sure we have so many kids watching and drawing with us and cooking with us. So I want to show some pictures that were submitted this week by Ollie and Izzy. These pictures were made on Thursday, so we did some dream catchers, and then we also did some hot air balloons with Lucy Yang and Haley Daniels. So thanks you guys so much for submitting these awesome pictures. We love them. We're really looking forward to next week. We will have more Classroom Champions coming back at you starting Monday morning with Movement Monday. So we hope you all join us again. Haleigh, Todd, thank you so much. We look forward to talking to you again soon. Bye, everybody.